Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5, 10 lives.
Minisode. Welcome to the Deadlights podcast. Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
I'm Mini Leslie. Bring your mininess. Mini.
Tiny. Look
Oh
at look.
God, it's so
It
tiny.
is as tiny as this little Gandalf.
You know.
Yeah. This is the size of your episode right now. Oh yeah, and Michael.
Little Michael.
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
You shall not kill.
I kill because I want to. Oh God. Okay.
That's definitely what he sounds like. Absolutely.
If he had a voice.
If he had a voice. Yeah. Well, today in the mini space.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, want to talk a little bit about books.
Books. Little libros.
Yes, books. As a kid, did you read a lot?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was really fascinated with the language. I didn't start really taking on English until I was like 11. I think that's when I became like fluent.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom would try to encourage us, take us to the library during the summer and check out books. And I think we would do like little book reports for her too.
Nice.
So I remember really liking reading. I didn't comprehend a lot of it, but I do less reading now.
Interesting.
Which
Is that just because
sad.
of time?
No, I think I also wasn't allowed to be on my phone or the internet growing up. So there was only so much more time to write and draw and read.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you have less going on as a kid. It's easier. It's simpler back then.
Yeah.
I wish I could read more too.
It like when I would get in trouble, I would get grounded, and I wasn't even allowed to read because that's how much I enjoyed reading.
Oh, damn. So that was like a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
No, Missy.
No
we are
reading.
taking your book.
We're taking your book and your pencils. And
Damn.
you're supposed to just
Get on your phone.
Sit in your
Get on your phone now.
Get on your phone. What are you doing? Be an average teenager. No, I was just allowed to clean the house.
Gotcha.
Or be in my room.
So
like fucking Cinderella.
What did you like reading when you were a kid?
So I like
Here it comes.
So as a kid, I read a lot of like Mary Kate and Ashley books.
Oh, yeah,
their adventure
shit.
books.
Fuck yeah.
I also read those kids that morphed into animals.
The Animorphs?
Yeah, the Animorphs, and then
Yes.
the little corner had them like switching from like human to an animal.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun. I remember I read a lot of those. Also, Boxcar Kids.
Was that like detective books?
They were like these children that had to live in the wilderness.
Oh.
Yeah, and like try to like they lived in a boxcar.
No parents?
No parents. But it was creepy because the older kids, they were like teenagers, and it was a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
The boy was the eldest, and then the other one, they kind of acted like the mom and dad.
Yeah.
Because then there was like 3 more children, like very little. Yeah, that was just so strange.
But they were kids' books, right?
But they were kid books.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got into the Twilight when it was coming out when I was in high school, and I really, really got into that. I hated the movies. And then The Host. I really liked The Host.
Mm-hmm. Which is the same writer?
Which is the same writer.
Gotcha.
Thicker book.
Thicker book.
And there was
Is it
only
as sexy?
one? Yes.
Yes.
Underground.
You hear that? That's the steam coming
Yes.
off.
Yeah, and those I remember. I read those. I read a lot of like the Beatles, like history.
Oh shit! Cool.
Harry Potter history.
So were most of those books like fantasy? Really, I guess it sounds like.
Goosebumps too.
Oh.
Loved Goosebumps.
Love Goosebumps.
Loved Goosebumps. I read
That's a
a
great
lot
one.
of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, really like the fantasy and I guess sounds like a little bit of horror in
Mhm.
there too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I couldn't read a lot of horror because my mom hated
Mm.
anything that came close to the devil.
That
I couldn't read Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
how Paul
I couldn't read
Can't even
Harry
say
Potter.
I can't
My
do
mom cursed me.
it. But so it kind of sounds like Twilight was like a little bit of like, ooh, I get to
Yeah,
read a
she
vampire.
hated the fact that I was reading those.
Well, I'm reading it anyway.
Yeah, no, she would tell me that I couldn't sit down and read a book for that long.
That is a strange thing to say to a
It
child.
is
It seems
so
like,
weird.
stop reading.
I was in high school and it was the summer and I was reading my book and then she'd be like, "You've been at that book for 2 hours. Do something else." And I was just like, "What? I'm reading. I'm inside the house. I'm not talking to any boys." Like,
That
and then
does seem.
and girls.
Hey,
But
that does seem like a strange thing for a parent to complain about. But okay, all right.
my mother's weird.
Damn.
She's just like going clean. She's
Going-
all about cleaning.
Stop reading. Get to clean.
Stop reading. You keep writing.
Damn it.
Go clean.
Go clean. Wow. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
What
That's cool.
books did you like?
Well, honestly, as a kid, I really did not read that much.
No.
There was like some that were here and there. Like I read some Goosebumps, and when I was like way younger, have you ever heard of Captain Underpants?
Yes, I read those too.
Those were super
Yeah,
fun.
my brothers had those.
And I just didn't really enjoy reading that much when I was a
Really?
kid. And then it wasn't until like high school that I started. There was a couple books that we read in class where I was like, "Oh, this is actually a good book. Maybe I should try books."
Books.
What are they? What's all the
these
hubbub about books?
What's all the hubbubums?
And eventually I read some true crime books because that's what I was interested in. And then I got to reading Stephen King. And I'm trying to remember actually the first Stephen King book that I read. It's probably the 11/22/63.
What is that book about?
It's about a guy who goes into a wormhole and comes out like 5 years before the JFK assassination, and he decides that he has to stop the assassination from happening.
And does he?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you want to read it,
Stop it here.
stop here, pause, go read it, and then come back. He does end up stopping it, but it's a weird thing. Why it's so thick is there's this weird thing where if you go into the wormhole and then you come
For
out of the
reference.
wormhole, yeah,
Thick.
very thick, come out of the wormhole and then go back into the wormhole again, it goes back to that same time. So everything that you've done is erased, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So
Like the butterfly effect.
kind of,
you know?
yeah, exactly. So he would like go into the wormhole, spend like 5 years there, like come out, and then have to like go back in, go back 5 more years, spend like 10 years there, because it was like well before the assassination happened. So he has to spend years and years in the late 50s, early 60s,
Oh, I would hate that period.
planning and
Oh my god.
And there's no like phones, and he has to adjust to the 1950s life, which is fucking crazy. And then yeah, he does end up stopping it.
And it's a Hulu show now.
It's a Hulu show now.
Oh.
With
I was gonna say,
James
wow,
Franco.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of this.
Yeah,
With James Franco?
yeah,
Oh.
he's the main character. That was, I think, the first Stephen King book that I read, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is
With like a
large."
fucking 10-year-old just like reading this.
No, I wasn't 10. I probably didn't read it till I was like 18 or 19, maybe even 20. So
Yeah.
this is like way later. I didn't start reading
Damn.
until
Like yesterday.
10 years ago. Yeah. Weird to say. So yeah, I got that and I was like, oh shit, Stephen King's really good. And then I read It and Running Man and Gerald's Game and all these like little ones just to kind of like get through it. And
Yeah.
I've read a lot of his over the years. So, and then it kind of just became, once my fascination with horror started to grow, I was like, well, this is a very simple crossover here. It works
Yeah.
out very well. So I absolutely love them. And
Nice.
that's really just been my main source of reading.
Yeah. When I picked up reading again, I just started reading a lot of self-help books. So I got into that jam. And then I was consuming horror by reading the Junji Ito stuff, which I really, really like. I almost have all of them.
I would
since the last time that we talked about him.
Yep. I would like to read some of those.
Yeah, I can let you borrow some.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No Longer Human, I think, is his thickest, most continuous story, because the thing he likes doing is like he can have a whole book, but then each chapter is about something else. Which I'm assuming that's how he got Tomi, which is the girl who everybody believes is the most beautiful being, and she's like supernatural and kind of gets you to like go crazy for her, to the point where you also need to kill her. But then she just keeps growing.
Wow.
Yeah, she's very scary. So each chapter on that one is like through the perspective of everyone that has encountered her, and it seems like she is everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But No Longer Human is about this guy who he becomes beautiful or something like that. Something like that. But then he needs to keep killing. Yeah.
To stay beautiful?
I think. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to read it again.
Read it again?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing too, is like I haven't read it in a very long time, and I would like to go back to it. It's just so long.
It's
such a large book.
I got to the 10th page and I was like, okay.
I gotta take a break. This is a lot of pages.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in the so like I'm reading it because it was a birthday present from you, so it's pretty exciting. It was my first Stephen King book.
Nice. Well, it's a big one.
It's a big one. And then I also am in the middle of finishing Junji Ito's Frankenstein.
Nice. Oh wow. They have their own Frankenstein too.
They do.
That's cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's very cool. Well, I'm honestly not reading anything right now because I've just been so busy that, and that's the thing. I want to get back to reading. I miss it a lot. Over the pandemic, there was plenty of time to read. That's when I finished The Shining for the first time, which was really good. And that was the last book that I read, which at this point is probably like a year ago. So I'm ready to jump back in. I'd love to borrow one of those books.
Yep.
And I got plenty of books to take off my shelf too. So.
Yeah. We'll just keep like switching. I feel like the Junji Ito, I finished that, the No Longer Human, because it is thick. It is thick.
Size reference.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe that too. It's a thick one, but I was able to finish it within 2 days. I think the reason why I stopped is just because it's heavy. Yeah, where you're just like, whew.
Oh boy. Oh wow.
And they're images, so you're just like,
yeah.
Whew.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's a whole different reading experience too, because you do have pictures as well, which is cool. I've never really read a book like that before, so.
No? Oh, they're so much fun. Love them.
Yay!
I used to have manga as well, so it was just my other consumption when I was in high school, because everybody was doing it. I don't know. Were people reading manga at your school?
I bet some were, but I didn't.
You were not in the crowd of it?
I was not in that crowd.
Holy shit. My school was filled with nerds. Like, we were known to be like the nerdy queer people, and
so the cool high school.
The cool high school.
Yeah.
The other ones, I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
But there was like a whole song too. But now it's like offensive. Like, we shouldn't say it. Yeah.
We will not repeat that song on this podcast.
No. But my brother probably knows it. Yeah, so like my friends and I loved anime. We love to read manga. And there's just like all sorts of people reading all different, like the most common ones, like One Piece, like a boyfriend of mine loved that. that one. And then Naruto. And then
Classic Naruto.
Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Oof. That
So
was
many.
fun.
It was fun.
Again, that sounds like the dope high school.
It
Which
was.
I went there.
It was great.
No one was reading in my high
No.
school.
And you wanted to go to Kofa. I don't know.
Kofa.
No, that was
Kofa.
Kofa. It stood for Kings of Arizona.
Oh.
Our mascot was a king.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bow down.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, cool.
Anyway.
Books.
Yeah, books.
Keep reading, y'all.
Keep reading. Keep watching those movies. Keep seeing really awful images.
Yeah. Keep ingesting anything
Yeah.
that is terrible. That's our message here at the Deadlights.
I mean, if I don't see it, I hear it.
Yep. Podcasts, books,
Podcast, books.
movies, TV. We're the.
We should talk about podcasts next.
That's true.
Yeah, we
We've been
hit
talking
that
about
topic.
podcasts. Yeah. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, let's get out of here, huh?
Color me Leslie. You know where to look.
And Beep Beep Richie T, you know where to look. Look on the Deadlights pod as well. That's
yes,
us.
that's us.
And also Playground Social. That's the studio
Social.
that we are shooting this at.
Yay.
Until next time. Let's get mini spooky. Flipping those pages. Open a book. Read
Open
a
a
book.
book.
It's a
Book
reading
day.
rainbow.